Welcome back to Objective 6 of Chapter 8 in our 3B1 series. In this objective, we'll describe the components and operation of a fuel flow airflow combustion control system. Now, for our next two objectives, Objectives 6 and 7, we'll look at the fuel flow airflow and then airflow fuel flow. And these are very similar, but with one difference between them, and that is the way in which we have our leader and our follower. Now, what does that mean? Well, first of all, in fuel flow, airflow, these are going to be the two elements that we'll be monitoring and maintaining a relationship between to achieve a desired ratio. What kind of ratio? The air to fuel ratio. Now, with regards to the leader and the follower, this refers to the philosophy of the control system. That is, in this particular system, the fuel flow is the leader and the airflow is the follower, meaning that fuel flow will determine the airflow. What this doesn't mean is that fuel flow adjusts first, then airflow adjusts second. It does not mean that. Airflow will still adjust first because that's safest from a point of view of combustion. However, from the control perspective, it's the fuel flow that sets the airflow. So because of that, it is said to have fuel flow as a leader and airflow as a follower. Now, like the previous combustion examples we've looked at, in this example, our drum pressure is going to control our combustion controller, meaning when there's an increase or decrease in steam demand, that will affect our drum pressure, and that will then cause the controller to either increase or decrease the firing rate to match the new steam demand required. Okay, so let's check out the diagram in figure 10 here and just check out what we're looking at before we take a look at how it's going to respond to a steam load increase followed by a steam load decrease. So starting on the left hand side of the diagram, we can see once again here that we've got a boiler pressure transmitter that's monitoring the drum pressure. This will output into the pressure recording controller, which once again is our master controller, because this is the brains of this entire loop here. What's driving it is boiler pressure. This will now output through a hand auto station and output down to the fuel control valve and across to the modulating relay and down to the air damper drive. So because in this control philosophy, the fuel control valve is being signaled first, then the damper drive, fuel flow is the leader. In reality, don't forget, this is all happening simultaneously. We're just talking about from a control or an algorithmic perspective that the fuel flow sets the airflow. On the right hand side, we've got our two flow transmitters of what we're actually monitoring now, and that is our airflow and our gas flow, or fuel flow if you like. Hence the name of this system, fuel flow airflow. Once again, you will also note that both flow transmitters have square root extractors on, and they are there for the same reason as we discussed in the previous objective. The fuel flow, i.e. the gas flow, outputs through to a fuel-air ratio relay that is then going to be inputting into the FRC, which is a flow recording controller. And now that flow recording controller is going to see the inputs from gas flow and airflow transmitters and see what the relationship is between them. If that ratio now no longer matches, like it won't when we have an increase or decrease in steam demand, the FRC will generate an output through the modulating relay, and that will then adjust our air damper drive. Okay, so now that we've gone through the main overview of it, let's take a look at it now with a couple of scenarios while you keep figure 10 open in front of you in your textbook, and you can be referring to this diagram while we discuss it. Okay, so here's how we can summarize a steam load increase and what happens. So first of all, when the steam demand upon the boiler increases, its drum pressure is going to drop. The pressure transmitter is going to sense that drop in pressure and output that value to the master pressure recording controller, i.e. the PRC. And the PRC will now generate an output signal to the fuel control valve and through to the modulating relay and down to our air damper drive at the same time. Now, i.e. simultaneously. The fuel flow transmitter now is going to see an increase in fuel flow And the airflow transmitter will also see an increase in airflow. Well, now it's going to basically output these values through the fuel to air ratio relay, and it will now determine what a new set point is required in order to achieve our new firing rate and the excess air required at the new firing rate. Once that's then been determined, that newly generated signal is now going to be compared to the old signal or the existing signal. Well, those, of course, now aren't going to match. So now the flow recording controller generates an output which is going to increase the output, which in turn will increase the firing rate so that it now matches and we get our air to fuel ratio for the new firing rate. And of course, this will require an increase in fuel and an increase in air. All right, well, what about if there's a steam load decrease? Just reverse it. So in other words, when steam load decreases, drum pressure is going to increase. When the drum pressure increases, the pressure transmitter is going to sense that and output its value into the pressure recording controller. The pressure recording controller now is going to see this, and it's going to generate a signal out to reduce the fuel flow and reduce the airflow. So now that output going from our master pressure controller to our fuel control valve and across to our air damper drive via the modulating relay will reduce the firing rate. Now, our gas flow and airflow transmitters are going to see a reduction in airflow and gas flow. So now the fuel to air ratio relay is going to compare those values to see if we're at the right ratio for the new firing rate, which of course we won't be because we're in the process of adjusting. So now a new set point is generated to go into the airflow recording controller, and that is now going to generate another output through to the modulating relay and down to the air damper drive to reduce the airflow, which is going to now restore our air to fuel ratio for the new firing rate. So that's how this one responds. I actually think that once you've got to grips with the previous objective, that was the one talking about steam flow, airflow combustion control, this one's actually not that bad at all, as it's somewhat similar. The difference, of course, is that we're now not looking at steam flow and airflow, we're looking at gas flow and airflow. But there's a lot of similarities there. Okay, that's basically it for Objective 6, looking at the diagram itself and how it responds to either an increase or decrease in steam demand. So let's check out some typical review questions then for this objective. So first, when increasing the firing rate manually, it's best to do what? Increase the airflow before the fuel flow, increase the fuel flow before the airflow, it really doesn't matter, or increase the air and the fuel at the same time. Very similar question to the one that we've seen previously. The answer has to be to increase the airflow before the fuel flow. Why? Because it's safer. Now I should point out that when we have our combustion controller in manual, we do not adjust the airflow and the fuel flow separately and choose which one we would do before the other. That's not what we mean by manual control. We mean we could increase the firing rate from the values that we input, but the combustion controller is naturally going to increase the airflow first before the fuel flow. So we don't separate them in terms of a control, we just mean manual. We can input the values that we require at the time we require it. And whenever making manual adjustments to a combustion controller, of course, we want to walk it up and walk it down nice and gradually. Don't do big adjustments. It's not good for the boiler and it's not good for the metal itself that's being stressed now by higher firing rates. You will have a tendency to swing your boiler, which means you will induce swell and shrink. Okay, next one. When master controller output goes directly to a fuel valve and a modulating relay, we have what? Multi-element, airflow, fuel flow, airflow, or steam flow, airflow. Well, the answer to this one's fairly obvious as we're talking about this particular objective, so it has to be fuel flow, airflow. But let's just pull apart the question a little bit and sort of state why it's this. When a master controller That's going to be the pressure recording controller responding to drum pressure and the drum pressure transmitter. When its output goes directly to the fuel valve, which you can see on the diagram is located directly below the hand auto station, below the master pressure controller, that is then describing a fuel flow airflow controller. When we look at all the others, you'll see, for example, that in the next one, which is airflow fuel flow, the device or the unit below the master pressure controller will be the air damper drive, not the fuel valve. So this question becomes more complicated when you've got all of these combustion systems in your head. Next one. In the fuel flow airflow combustion controller, fuel flow leads and airflow follows, airflow leads and fuel flow follows, fuel flow leads and steam flow follows, or steam flow leads and fuel flow follows. The answer is in the name. It's fuel flow airflow. Well, in that name, fuel flow comes before airflow. So therefore, fuel flow leads and airflow follows. And this is what we're describing regarding the control philosophy, in that the fuel required for the new firing rate will set the airflow, and then the airflow will adjust. I stress this again. It does not mean that the fuel adjusts first, then the air adjusts second. It doesn't mean that. It just means from a control perspective, not a physical one. That's really important to point out. Next one. In the fuel flow airflow combustion controller, the master pressure recording controller adjusts what? The air damper drive, the fuel control valve, the induced draft fan, or the efficiency? Well, once again, take a look at the diagram and take a look at what's located directly below the master pressure recording controller. And that is the fuel control valve, because it's the gas flow and airflow transmitters via the FRC that are going to position the air damper drive. So again, it's a question relating directly to the diagram. Next one. When the steam load decreases in a boiler, the what? Will the steam pressure increase? Will the steam pressure decrease? Will the fuel output increase? Or will the airflow increase? Bit of a nasty question, this one, but when the steam load is going to decrease upon the boiler, what's going to happen first? Because this is what's going to set this loop in progress. And when our steam demand decreases, our drum pressure is going to rise. And that's what's then going to set the fuel control valve output, which will then adjust the air damper drive sequentially. Now again, when I say sequentially, I don't mean after, I mean simultaneously within the algorithm. Okay, so that's it for Objective 6. A pretty straightforward one, really, if you are super clear on how Objective 5 works with regards to the steam flow, airflow. And the good news is, if you can wrap your head around this one here in Objective 6, we're going to get Objective 7 for free, because we're now just going to swap around the airflow and the fuel flow. So it's very, very similar. So give this a review. Make sure you're happy with how this loop responds to increase and decrease in steam demand. And then when you're ready, let's go over and get the freebie in Objective 7, and we'll talk about airflow, fuel flow combustion control systems. So take care. See you back for that one soon.